Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Podcast Strikes Back. My name is George and you're listening to our weekly show, Top 8, where we break down this week's biggest stories. And joining me today are the boys, Connor
Hello.
and Benny.
Hello there, George.
What's going on? Talk to me.
The usual.
Yeah,
Sitting here doing a podcast with you.
on the
You
weekend.
lovely gents.
I'm good. I'm good.
Just had a nice coffee. Get those adrenal glands going.
You.
Whoa. So, how's the week been? Have you watched anything? I might go first on this, actually.
Oh,
I'm going
alright.
to take over.
Okay, you ask us the question.
Yeah,
jump in.
yeah.
That's
I'm
fine.
just gonna.
That's all right.
I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
I went and saw Titanic for the first time.
First time.
First time I've ever seen Titanic, and I think I saw it in the best way you can, which was on 70 mil celluloid. It was a really great experience. It's an iconic film, and whenever I say to people I've never seen Titanic,
They slap you in the face
Yeah.
and kick you in the balls. Yeah.
yeah, that one and Gladiator, I haven't seen. Well, I haven't seen Gladiator, but I hadn't seen Titanic. People will always be like, "Oh, shock horror! You haven't seen those films." I'll be like, "F off."
Yeah, but when anyone tells you that they haven't
Yeah.
seen Star Wars, that's your reaction as well.
Yeah, it is, and then I hurt them.
It's fair.
It's part of the code.
Twist their arm into. Are you
part
going
of
to
the
see Star
code.
Wars? Are you going to see Star Wars?
Titanic, wow, so much better than I was expecting.
Oh yeah.
Really loved it.
Mm.
Last third of the film, George fatigue kicks in. That ship takes a while to
It's a
go
long
down.
movie.
That last hour, they go back into the ship and they're like, spoiler alert, they're like going around the corridors again, getting themselves into trouble. But you know what?
Those pesky.
Yeah,
Those,
Leonardo. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really great. Love
Great
Kate Winslet.
performance from Billy Zane.
oh, hell yeah.
It's really, it's a 90s movie with Billy
Yeah.
Zane's in it.
Yeah. And I can see why every dude in the 90s had a crush on Kate Winslet.
Can you think of a couple of reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too specific.
Yeah.
Oh, Connor, you disgusting. Get
But yeah.
Get that filth off my podcast.
But yeah, that's been my week. How about you guys? Benny?
I checked out the new Oates Studios short film this morning. The second one they've released.
Right, Neil Blomkamp's
Yep, his
short
little
film
indie
project.
studio thing. Yeah.
Cool.
I think this one was better. I guess it was a more of a coherent storyline, not just a bunch of weird set pieces.
Was it related to the first one?
Not at all. No, completely distinct. It was set during the Vietnam War.
Wow.
It was kind of like a secret story behind the overwhelming loss of the American soldiers over there. It's about like some weird creature called the River King that is like reanimating corpses, and they like under their skin now they're like cockroach men. It's very strange.
Wow.
Is it like a sci-fi or a horror?
Sounds very sci-fi.
Bit of both, I guess.
Yeah.
Body horror.
It's bloody grisly, yeah.
Cool.
I don't think it's as good as I made it sound, actually.
the pitch you just did was amazing.
Well, because the first half is very much like the last one they released, where it's very esoteric, just a bunch of weird kind of things being thrown out. And then the second half is just a complete info dump explaining it all. It's just like
A bit
very,
much.
like, it's just exposition. It's like, this is not amazingly well executed, but very, very well put together on a
Is he
production
directing them
side.
all?
I don't know. I didn't
Yeah.
see that, but
I must check them out.
it's an interesting little project. I'll keep watching them.
Connor?
Definitely. As per usual, I saw quite a few things.
Oh, God. Here we go, the list.
So, sorry.
4 bullet points.
Yeah,
Why you keep asking him?
yeah.
And he goes through them all meticulously.
Yeah. Sorry. This is why I'm here. I watched The Last Samurai again.
Tom Cruise one?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Edward
really
Zwick.
like that film. I've got
Yeah.
a soft spot for that one.
Yeah.
It's an epic.
It's a cool little film.
I think it's one of Tom Cruise's best.
I'd agree with that. For sure.
So another long one.
It has some emotion in it.
Yeah. It's deep.
Okay.
That's why I don't want to get too meticulous into it or anything. I wouldn't want to bore you.
Go on.
No. So yeah, watch that. I always love that film.
Yeah.
I also watched the first 2 seasons of Silicon Valley, which is HBO's show. It's actually really, really good.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
awesome.
Yeah, it's been on the list for me to catch up on for ages.
Tom
and-
Middleditch, Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah. No, it really cool little exploration into that industry.
Is it like app development? IT?
Well, it's IT, it's
Yeah,
tech, it's Silicon
tech,
Valley. And it's kind of funny, like
But are they a startup or are they?
They're a startup, yeah.
Okay.
And because I work in that industry, it's funny to see it being parodied in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of it that strikes home. That is very accurate.
That's funny. Yeah, hasn't Tim Miller or whatever his name is hasn't he just been booted?
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller, yeah.
No, he left the production. I think.
Yeah, I heard there was friction there though.
Could have been. I mean, it depends on who you believe.
I love TJ Miller.
What story you believe. I mean, according to him, he essentially was at that point where he's like, I want to try something different.
Yeah.
Which, if it's true, then fair enough.
So they're up to season 5 now?
Yeah, so they've just released 4, I believe.
Yeah.
And they're progressing with 5, but obviously they're going to have to make some changes.
Yeah.
Which they've had to do before. They had a major character die in between season 1 and 2, which they had to do a massive kind of reshuffle for.
What about that?
And he's now come out and said that this is, obviously he's not dead or anything, but he's like, they'll have to do the same kind of shuffle around my departure. And it'll be good for the show. So.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really excellent.
Is it on Netflix?
No, I actually had to go and buy this one.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, sure.
There's very few things that I will go out and actively pursue in terms of like buying or downloading or anything like that.
Yeah. I really like buying a Blu-ray.
It's one of life's great pleasures.
Yeah, I like going
enjoy spending my money.
Walking on the beach.
With your Blu-rays.
Do we all need a coffee? Do we need to pick this up or something? Jesus, fuck.
All right. There's been a lot of big movie news, including some more stuff related to the Han Solo drama. That
do you just want to do my job for me, Jack?
Well, I'm just leaving.
I think maybe he should do your job for you today.
Yo, what is wrong with me today?
I'm segueing,
Today.
man. Just let me segue. Fuck,
That's
I'm
not
passing
segue,
the
that's just-
baton onto you.
That's
in
just
like a
you
really
saying
nice,
what I was about to say.
Anyway, take it away, Connor, man. Go.
All right, let's jump into
it.
our top 8. Number 1, we've got some more Star Wars news centering around the Han Solo standalone film. It's coming on from last week. The big news is there was an acting coach hired for Alden Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich? How the fuck do you say this guy's name?
Ehrenreich. Where are you getting
Ehrenreich.
This is why I need to do your job for you. Ehrenreich.
You love this stuff. You love me mispronouncing names.
Grindelwald.
You will always be
Ehrenreich.
the announcer because
Grindelwald.
it's too entertaining.
For the life of
yeah.
me, pronounce someone's name right. Yeah. Yeah, that dude. According to Lucasfilm, they were unhappy with his performance.
Whoa. That's a little bit harsh.
We'll take it up with Lucasfilm. Not me. Fuck. Don't come after me.
That's who we're talking to. Lucasfilm. That's a bit rough. Come on.
As well as that, there was an editor was fired for, I imagine, the same reason.
The editor?
An editor. Jesus, fuck.
And then Ridley Scott's longtime editors come on board to take over the duties. Why I said that was because I don't necessarily think that Lucasfilm brought him on because they were unhappy with his performance, but in terms of like guiding him through this change, I think they've brought him on because I think Lord and Miller were going for more of that comedic style, and they need to guide him into this new approach that Ron Howard and Lawrence Kasdan are bringing on board. So they need somebody to guide him through. So I think
how terrifying is that, though?
I think like this is his first big production. He's new to this. It's a big role. I think it's just a supporting thing, and I think people are blowing this out of proportion.
No, I think that this is possibly worse news than
I don't think
last
so.
Well, maybe
I
not
don't think
worse
so.
news than last week,
I
but
definitely don't think so.
it's certainly bad news. Like if you need to get an acting coach to come in to help someone with this kind of transition, that means that they're making a major, not only just kind of a subtle change in the way that the movie is going to be presented, but that means that the actual character is going to be changing quite a bit. And the way that character is not only presented, but the way that it's being acted.
This is just like last week, though. We don't know what the situation was. We don't know if he was underperforming and they weren't happy with it. We heard reports that he was coming off a bit like Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura, which is interesting. I don't know why they'd try and veer away from that. That would be amazing. I'm just hoping behind the scenes right now is the exact scene with Alden Ehrenreich and Ray Fine from the last Coen Brothers film. Would that it were. Would that it were. I'm hoping that's exactly what's going on with Han Solo right now.
That was a good little scene.
Yeah,
that was
amazing.
one of the only things that I saw in that film.
Oh.
I think I just streamed it. Because everyone said Alden Ehrenreich was the best part of that film.
Yeah, and he was really good in it. So
Yeah.
I'm finding it hard to believe that he's not doing a good job
That's
in this
what I
movie
mean.
somehow.
That's why this role of this acting coach is a guide. Like what other big productions has this guy done? Has he ever done a blockbuster of this scale with this amount of pressure? No.
hell no.
So it's a supporting. I think it's a smart move, and I think people are blowing it out of proportion.
Well, but certain actors are kind of, they fit certain roles and are able to perform certain roles. That doesn't mean that just because they've killed it in one means that they'll be great in another.
Of course.
So this could be him just underperforming. Like this,
Yeah.
has he really done anything like this?
He's
Not
done
the
he's done
size.
heaps of stage work. He's like he's experienced.
Star Wars, the stage production.
Do you know what I mean? That's it. It's a different environment for him.
I feel that there's the chance that maybe they should have picked someone that didn't need to be guided.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Alden.
It is weird that they're bringing it on.
Crack.
Well, it's weird that it's being so publicized. That's the strange part. Like if this is big enough that someone's picked it up to actually put it out there among the media, then
This production's a bit of a leaky boat, though. I think with these Star Wars movies, they're always under such scrutiny that people are very willing to, sell all the secrets to the tabloids. We're always going to hear more shit like this from these really big Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
This stuff probably happens all the time. Who knows?
what do you reckon? It's Lord and Miller just putting out some rumors and be like, "Fuck that guy, rat us out. He need an acting coach."
He can't even read his script.
But it was interesting. There were some other reports that came out this week about how Lord and Miller, so Lucasfilm have a standard where you need to do 12 to 15 setups per scene of dialogue and whatnot, and they were doing around 3.
Yeah, 2 to 3.
That was a big problem. And there were some other reports that came out about how they were starting productions late. They started one day. They started at 1 p.m. They're very reactionary kind of directors. They like improvisational comedy. I think the scale of this film was a problem for them, and I don't know if they were able to run and drive a ship of the magnitude of the Han Solo Star Wars film, $250 million production. It's interesting. My opinion has kind of changed over the week. I think it's both parties were at fault.
I'm currently wearing my hashtag Team Lord and Miller shirt. I'm not taking it off until this movie comes out. So
I'm not the biggest fan of Kathleen Kennedy.
Part of my hope with Lord and Miller coming or helming this project was that they were going to bring down that scale to something a little bit more like them. Like if that had felt, I wanted it to feel less of a Star Wars film. I wanted it to feel like a spin-off or a side project.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a little less in scale. Like, I mean, when Rogue One was trying to be Star Wars-y was when I was least enjoying that film. And I felt my hope for this was that it was going to be something that didn't feel like a Star Wars film. So, the idea that they're saying, "Oh, you're not doing it the way that we normally do it with these big budget Star Wars films," I'm kind of still on their side. I'm like, nah, fuck it, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they know how to make a movie.
Yeah, but some directors do it with one camera. Steven Soderbergh, he's a one-man band kind of director. Some guys are doing $250 million budgets. It's a different style of filmmaking. It's a different skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And some people aren't able to transition and move into those other categories.
And some people can't act like Alden Ehrenreich. It's probably enough Han Solo talk, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Did an hour on it last week.
Yeah.
We can move on to number 2 in our list. We have a number of trailers, so we've just kind of bunched them all in together.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of trailers this week.
there were quite a few that
I just
dropped.
happened to wake up at 3 a.m. the other morning.
It was Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, someone just happened to be having sex in the place next to me. It woke me up. And I looked at Facebook, which is always a bad idea when you don't want to wake up. And I just happened to see that all these trailers just come out. I'm like, fuck, well, now I'm going to have to watch all these and bloody write them up.
Let's go through them real quick. So Inhumans trailer, what did you guys think?
It's got a lot of backlash.
Bad.
I liked it a lot more than anyone else did. I think
That's not
out
hard.
of you guys.
I noticed they didn't focus on her hair at all.
It didn't do anything. So we've
Sad
seen the
face.
hair now in live action. The wig just sat there like it did in the
If
photo.
the wig had done something, I think
10 out of 10.
yeah,
Would
That's
wig
all it
again.
would have taken to
Easy.
get George completely on board.
it had some terrible CG. Like it opens with that shot of the Earth, and it just looks so
It's like a
bad.
cardboard cutout
Yeah.
in front of a black background. Very strange.
But I'm down. I'm keen. The dude who
Lockjaw.
was shouting a lot.
Oh,
I'm not convinced on that guy.
Ramsey Bolton.
I'm
Yeah.
not convinced.
What was that accent? It
Yeah,
was like
I was like, is he Dutch?
Dutch Scottish.
Yeah. Like,
Nothing about this trailer really made me interested to see this series, and that is literally the only job a trailer has, is to hook your interest.
yeah.
I mean, you can have some terrible films with great trailers. Like it,
We do.
I feel like the trailer is the easy part.
Yeah, if they couldn't make like a really kick-ass trailer out of, presumably they would have a lot of footage by now, finished footage, then that's not encouraging. And again, this is from showrunner Scott Buck, whose previous effort was Iron Fist,
Yep.
which is by far the worst thing in the MCU.
And we talked about that, and that was kind of alarm bells
Yeah.
going off. But I like the kind of 90s sci-fi. It reminds me of a little bit of not Farscape, but Star Trek. I don't know. It's kind of got that low budget 90s sci-fi thing going on, and I'm totally into that.
Okay. That's
Okay.
an odd thing to be into. But,
Yeah, it is.
We'll leave it at that. We'll see.
No, we won't.
Yeah, I could talk about Inhumans all day. Fuck you.
Well, I know that's why I'm saying we'll leave it at that. The next trailer that came out was Jumanji 2, Welcome to the Jungle trailer.
This is the second rock movie called Welcome to the Jungle.
I know.
It's
Curious,
a
isn't it?
conspiracy.
What did you guys like? Are you guys fans of the original Jumanji?
I'm pretty into the original. Yeah, I
And
grew
what
up
did you
with that
think of this
movie.
one?
Love it. I respect a lot that they're doing something very different than the original.
Mhm.
This is kind of in line with what the TV series was, the cartoon, which was the characters in the jungle, the actual jungle Jumanji, which I think is a cool angle to take. The execution, I feel, leaves a bit to be desired. Nothing really grabbed me in this trailer.
Mhm.
But the big interesting thing here is that Jumanji is no longer a board game; it's a video game.
And I like that. I think that was a good risk to take. Did they nail it? I'm not sure. I think it could. The screen didn't look 8-bit enough. It didn't look
No, it
retro
didn't at
enough.
all,
It
did it?
looked
No.
really modern.
Yeah,
And I think they really missed an opportunity
like a blurred
there.
out JPEG.
Yeah, I think they missed a massive opportunity there. But I'm with you. Nothing jumped out at me. I really wasn't into the fact that the kids were inhabiting the bodies of The Rock, Jack Black, Kevin Hart. I wasn't into that at all. So
Kind of again, on paper, I like what they're doing. I think it's kind of a cool idea. It's very distinct from the original film, even more so than the quasi sequel Zathura, which was essentially just a remake, but sci-fi tinged.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it kind of reminded me of. I mean, like, sorry.
Connor's like trying to plug in his laptop.
I'm trying to plug in my laptop and continue talking.
And he just leans over like, well,
I've got something to say. Yeah, look, this kind of reminds me of like a glossy, superficial remake type thing. Like it just,
which is exactly what it is.
well,
But not at
You can
all, I
do
think,
remakes
because this isn't a remake. The
a
premise,
sequel.
The premise
yeah,
is
it's not a
completely
remake,
different.
It's a sequel.
That's what I'm saying. This is the thing. Even though I
Yeah.
don't love this trailer, I think it's cool that they are really going in
Yeah.
that direction.
I did like that. We'll see.
I like Jack Black. I'd like to see him in something good again.
He hasn't been in anything for ages, but the Jack Black days, I miss him.
Yeah.
was his last good film Tropic Thunder?
School of Rock.
Tropic
Did
Thunder.
you not like Tropic Thunder?
No, I actually, you know what? I hadn't seen Tropic Thunder until last year, and I chucked it on. Loved the shit out
It's
of
so
it.
good.
I was like, this
So I
one
was right
totally
in saying
bypassed,
Tropic Thunder.
bypassed me.
Yeah, man. I'm a lead farmer motherfucker. That's such a good fucking movie.
Robert Downey Jr. in that was amazing.
That's another great Tom Cruise role.
Mhm.
yeah,
That was
definitely.
Different.
The start of his comeback, really. Len Grossman.
Moving on, our third trailer. There's so many trailers. Death Note trailer.
We've been waiting on this one. This is
Yeah.
This is
interesting.
definitely, out of all these trailers that came out, this is the one that impressed me the most.
This is on par with one of the ones that we'll talk about. Yeah. This, I mean, it's certainly interesting. I've never delved into the kind of original material
Yeah, me
that this is
neither.
based off of. So just coming to this with fresh eyes, it looks very, very cool and very dark.
Yeah.
It's such a cool premise. I don't watch too much anime. I don't like going down that rabbit hole. I think just sadness waits that way. But
Hey.
but it's cool to see an adaptation. Let's just not now or ever get into the whitewashing conversation again. Because that's a whole big thing surrounding this, obviously, with a Japanese
one
property.
of the?
And it's a very Japanese thing. But what they're doing looks cool. And Willem Dafoe was fucking born to play the demon character.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe looks incredible in this. Yeah. And the makeup and the creature design, I am impressed beyond belief. This is a hard one to get right. It's got a very dedicated fan base. Netflix, keep fucking owning it. I just finished watching Okja before this, and we'll get into that in the review, but they keep kicking goals in my opinion. So it's nice to see that they're keeping the darkness there. They're sticking to their guns. They're not diluting it. Bring it on.
I'm not hugely familiar with the original story, where it goes to. I
just know the premise, yeah.
Yeah, so I hope they can find a good balance in this adaptation of this main character, his kind of path in his arc, because he's clearly like a villain. He's clearly killing a lot of people, and it's a bad guy. And I hope there's
a lot of grey area in this show.
Yeah, and I hope it kind of fulfills the potential of that.
Yeah, definitely. Next trailer is Cult of Chucky trailer. I'm just going to put this out there. The only reason this is in here is because, Ben, you requested that we talk about it.
Yeah, man, I put it in there because I wanted to talk. This is Chucky 7. This is one of the kind of iconic, classic, long-running slasher franchises. There aren't many still getting iterated on at this point.
Yeah.
Most of them have been rebooted by Platinum Dunes, and they've all sucked shit.
And the well is empty.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can draw upon. So much so that the Jason film that was it Jason? Yeah, Jason, Friday the 13th, got canned. Or was it Halloween?
Who knows? Who can tell the difference anymore? But Chucky, I think, is a really cool one because it's always been slightly more low-key than those other ones, the Child's Play series. Don Coscarelli, the original creator, he's still on board now. Chucky 6, a couple of years ago, Curse of Chucky, was sort of a semi-reboot of the franchise, really took it back to its horror roots, because this is a series that has gone very comedic and very meta, which is kind of a cool thing that these slasher series generally do in a big arc, and then they come back down, they wind it back down.
Yeah.
And the last one really did go back to the horror roots, but then it managed to kind of take a left turn in the third act and tie it all back into continuity, which I thought was really fun as someone who had only kind of watched through all the films a couple of years ago. So I'm really looking forward to this. I love this kind of low-budget, almost indie-looking horror with just this kind of practical puppet monster, which I think looks great.
It looks like the best Chucky film in a long time. I'm not a big fan of the series. I generally avoid them.
I mean, they range from like good to god awful, but that's all of these horror series.
But one of the good things about this type of film is that it can be bad, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like,
and they'll still make return on investment will still be there with those horror films. So I don't know. I'd actually really like to go back and watch Child's Play, the first one.
It's good fun, and the cool thing about this new one is it actually brings back the kid from the original. Like the same actor who played the kid in the original Child's Play. He's the guy in this one.
Okay.
He showed up very briefly in the last film, and he's back for this one, it looks like. And the voice of Chucky, Brad Dourif, one of my absolute favorite character actors. He played Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
He's the voice of Chucky. Yeah, his daughter plays the main character in the last one and this one.
Okay.
And it's weird because she looks exactly like him. But anyway, I just like how it all comes around.
Yeah.
There you go. Our final trailer, and this is probably the one that made me the most excited.
Probably.
It is. Rick and Morty season 3 trailer.
Hell
the bonkers
yes.
trailer.
Some people think I'm bonkers.
Fuck yes.
What a great choice of track. That takes you straight back to like 2009.
Yeah.
Well,
second year of uni.
Every once in a while, this song will come up, and you're just like, "Fuck! Why don't I listen to that song more often?" I fucking love it. When it came up in Kingsman, do you remember watching that? And it just comes out of left field, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. Why are we talking about bonkers right now?
Love that song.
We just got the Rick and Morty season 3 trailer and a release date.
This is the Dizzy Rascal episode. No, didn't you get the memo?
July 30th. We're finally going to get some more Rick and Morty action.
Is July 30th going to be episode 1?
No, we got episode 1.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I was just going to say it's hard to say, isn't
it? Episode 2.
But
No.
episode 1 wasn't broadcast on TV. It was live streamed. They
Yeah.
just dropped it out
It was
of nowhere.
essentially like
Probably to
quote
placate
unquote, a
the
leak.
insane fans. So they think they're probably going to start with episode 1.
Damn. So we're getting first episode of Rick and
August
Morty first
7th-ish,
week of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Probably.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. What a huge undertaking for them having to follow up those first 2 amazing seasons.
Yep.
We were
And it has just skyrocketed since season 2 ended.
it's a phenomenon, yeah.
The popularity of this show has increased exponentially.
Yeah.
They had the most monumental task to.
I wouldn't want to be Dan
Deliver.
Harmon right now. Are you
No.
kidding me?
Yeah.
No,
And-
That's
no
fucking
wonder you wanted to
huge.
keep pushing it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny,
far
like
out.
how much of a big thing this is now. There are so many rumors about why it's taken so long, and everyone's talking about like Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon are fighting,
Yeah.
which is completely baseless, apparently.
Yeah, well, he came out and justified it, or not justified it, like explained. He's like, though, we're not fighting. It's just like we need to get this right.
Yeah.
This is their baby.
Mm.
If they nail this, man,
Do you reckon he'll quit after 3 seasons?
potentially.
Like, I can't imagine that level of, that's like Feige pressure.
I think they'll get. I reckon they'll go for 6 or 7.
Will he quit after 3? Probably, but I think they might go for
I
7
was just
seasons.
thinking about it because
I think it'll
it's
keep
still-
going, but it'll take longer and longer in between seasons.
They know how big this is getting, and season 3 is going to propel it to a new height. They know how much money they can make from this. They know the opportunity is, it's just. I know it's going to be too good to not go down that path.
but maybe that's why they should quit.
Yeah.
I'd love to see an American TV series have the balls to be like, we've made something great. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, let's not go Community on this one.
Well, and this is what keeps going through my head. I was watching this and thinking, like, this is a brilliant show. Like those first 2 seasons are so like just consistently good.
Yeah.
Like
And
I can go back
I've-
to any of those episodes and thoroughly enjoy myself.
Yeah, I watch them all the time. I've watched through season 2 like 4 or 5 times completely.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And
I
there's
chuck it on all the
not
time.
many shows that have come out in
Very,
that
very few.
short of time. Like The Office, I'll chuck on, and I've watched that 10 times, but that came out in 2000. Rick and Morty season, I'm just addicted to it, and it's so rewatchable.
The only other show that I can kind of consistently, Workaholics, I can kind of do that. I really enjoy just chucking on episodes of Workaholics.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not very often you get a series like that.
No.
It's kind of a bummer that it's so popular. I reckon that's what's going to sink this show, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Because like I'm a huge Venture Brothers fan. That's like another Adult Swim cartoon from a while back, and they're still making that now. They're like up to season 7 or 8 or something. They just release it every couple of years. They'll do another season, just the creators, and it's so low key. People forget it even it exists or is still running, and I think that's a cool way to do it because that's they kind of maintain the level of quality and care for the project. Whereas this, there would be so many other considerations. Like it's going to drive these people crazy.
I know we got to wrap up this segment, but I do want to say something about this.
Oh God.
It's interesting, like just going back to Han Solo and
What?
the internet's influence on those decisions and how they approach things. Like when you think about a production like Jaws, or with the shark fucking up, or recasting and bringing on in Back to the Future, recasting the main character and bringing on Michael J. Fox.
Imagine how that shit would be reported nowadays.
Nowadays, it's a completely different scenario.
You wouldn't be able to pull that shit off now because you'd have to be thinking
Production's
about
a
the star.
disaster.
Yeah. So
That's
like,
2 masterpieces you just mentioned there.
And yeah, exactly. And now, these guys, these creators having this much pressure from the internet, people talking about
It's fucking echo chamber.
what happens to your mind with an empty piece of paper, like starting Rick and Morty season 3. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, you got a pen in one hand and
Wow.
Twitter in the other.
Yeah.
It's like, where's season 3?
Crazy.
Trying. Yeah, so those are the trailers that came out this week. I like I said, definitely Rick and Morty is my most excited, followed by Death Note.
Yeah, Death Note, Rick and Morty.
Love it.
And Inhumans. Bring on Inhumans. Bring on that wig. I'm ready for that wig.
Bring on that giant dog.
Enough of your silliness, George. Moving on to number 3. War of the Planet of the Apes has been seeing massive critical success. As much as I hate to quote it, it has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
For anyone that doesn't understand how Rotten Tomatoes works, that just means that pretty much everyone has given it a favorable review.
Yes.
Which is crazy for the third movie in a franchise.
It's impressive.
It's
Don't get me
unheard
wrong.
of, pretty much.
This franchise, every film has been better than the last.
Out of the two?
Well, if this one is what people are saying, it is better than Dawn. So
Is that what people have been saying?
yeah, yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. It's really cool to hear a trilogy stick the landing.
Yep.
And I can't fucking wait to see this film. And the fact that the reviews are coming out so early before the release, that is
Always a good sign.
Yeah, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like Marvel movies, they're pretty cocky and they make good movies, so they release them like a week before the film comes out. This is weeks before. It's crazy.
In Matt Reeves, we trust. This
Go
guy
ahead.
has gone from he's just had a really, really nice, steady level up in his career. We were talking about this last night.
He's 4 for 4 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but he's I think he's gotten better and he's getting better
Yeah.
and he's learning. He's not one of these directors that's come out of the gate and they're one of their early films is their best film.
And made a cool indie and then got snapped up by a studio
Yeah.
for their second movie.
And then, just like is releasing really average films. He is a guy who's getting better and better every film. And he was saying stuff about the Batman film that he's going to be directing that I am incredibly excited about. I think he knows what's up.
If there's someone that I think can pull it off, it's probably him.
Yeah.
In terms of this series, man, I think part of the success of the second one and hopefully the success of the third one is that it builds off what's previously been put forward by the series. I mean, a lot of the emotional tug and the emotional pull of that second film was, talking about characters that don't show up in that film. They're talking about James Franco's character and his dad's character, like all those, the drawbacks when he goes back to the house, that hit me like a kick in the gut. When I just remember watching that scene and thinking that was probably the most emotional part of the film, and you wouldn't have been able to have that kind of emotion in that scene unless you had seen the first one.
Yeah, but I think what they've done really well is each one's kind of like 5 years apart, 10 years apart. I don't know the distance between Dawn and this new one, but between Rise and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, it was about 10 years.
There's a lot that's happened in the meantime.
And I think that really allowed them to go in a completely different direction. So they drew upon stuff that was established in the first one, but they took it in a whole new direction, and it was surprising. It really blew me away.
Oh, it's a very different film, for sure.
And any movie that kills James Franco is pretty cool. It's a good bit of fun.
By that theory, Alien Covenant's just great. Because they got that shit done quick.
Spoiler alert.
They killed the hell out of him.
You're like, and it was just like, oh my God, James Franco. They killed the hell out of him. That was so good.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was
Oh
fucking awesome.
God.
I thought that's what you were referring to. I was like, when I just think of like killing James Franco, the first thing that comes to mind is like him just burning up in a little pod.
Yeah.
No, I was actually thinking of This Is the End, which is one of my favorite fucking movies of the last 5 years.
Oh, his death scene in particular is great.
Brutal. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm incredibly excited for that film. It's a couple weeks away for us
It's cool-
Aussies.
It's cool to have a blockbuster franchise for adults.
Yeah.
For us grown-ups.
Thank you. Thank you,
That's
Matt Reeves.
again, that is consistently good.
Yeah, and it's amazing that it's the one about the talking monkeys.
Yeah.
How did that?
who would have seen that coming?
How did that happen?
Particularly considering that it's a reboot,
Yeah.
as well as that there
Wow.
was this is the second reboot that's come out after that Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Horrendous. Oh God, I just remember watching that. The ending of that film was so bad it was good.
I think this is a testament to like not having to have everything laid out in front of you. Their mentality going into the first one, they weren't thinking about a shared universe. They weren't thinking about 3 sequels. They were thinking, let's try and nail this one.
Yeah.
And each one has successfully
Got a
leveled
Maurice
up.
spin-off in the works.
Yeah,
The orangutan.
They do now, but I think
No, I'm
they.
kidding.
They do. They do. They're doing a 4th one. They're doing a 5th one. It's going to keep going.
Keep it going.
But I think they've just tried to nail each individual film in its own right, and that's proved to be a very successful approach for them.
Yeah.
All right, let's
man.
move on.
All right, number 4, Transformers 5 has had the lowest opening for the entire series.
Yay!
So it's had just under $70 million in domestic sales.
That's
Which
domestic US for
Yes.
everyone out there.
compared to, I think it was 100 mil for the previous entry.
You think it's 100 mil, or is it written down in front of you?
I don't trust you anymore. Whatever you write. I don't know what you're going to put down
Fair
there.
enough.
And it's also the lowest critical reception for the series.
That's not saying much.
15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I think
15.
the last one
Wow,
was
that's generous.
last one was like 17 or 18.
That's generous. Good on you, Planet Earth.
I went-
Such love.
I actually went onto the Rotten Tomatoes site and looked up the reviews because 15% on Rotten Tomatoes means 50% of these were giving it like a fresh rating.
15%.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
You said
what I
50.
You definitely said 50.
You said 50.
I said 15.
You said it wrong though.
But I said
It's
it- I
the
might have said it
problem,
wrong,
You
that's
said,
the
you
problem.
said it without the N at the end.
I just like
My brain put to my mouth 15, and my mouth was like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to say what the fuck I
I'll
want.
do what I want.
You don't own me. Yes, I do,
continue.
mouth. Do what I tell you. But I looked. I was so curious to go in and try and find out, like, what were these people thinking that they thought that this was good enough to give it a fresh? And it was. I'm fairly certain that these were all like 13-year-olds. Like, there's no other.
It's always
explanation.
like small town radio stations and stuff. And I think it's because they want to get on like the DVD cover or something with like a pull quote.
right.
It's like,
yeah,
such and
gotcha.
such from KBZ Radio.
Yeah. Would you ever put that on like any kind of promotion?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Maybe we should start doing that, guys. we were pretty
Transformers
savage on this
5,
one.
best film I've seen all year.
You could pull probably a
Podcast right
random
back.
quote out of context. It would sound pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony
yeah.
Hopkins is the best thing in this film.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
But so it'll be interesting to see when all is said and done how this movie performs, because the last one did over $1 billion. So even if this one only does so it's at like 70% of what the last one was, it'll still do
700
pretty damn
mil,
well.
yeah.
So at the moment, it's on like 70 mil. Oh yeah, no, we just said that. Sorry, I was going through the page and reading stuff about it, and I was like, oh well, we've already.
I was going through the
that.
page and reading stuff about it. I
Because
love that.
as we previously reported on, they've got 14 movies planned or scripts kind of in development maybe. There's
What do you reckon
Bumblebee
would-
movie coming up? But
What do you reckon would be required for like to kill this franchise? Like, how bad do you think this would need to perform?
I think if
worse,
this
to be like-
much worse than it already is.
this
Yeah.
will have to be hitting 300 million.
Like it's gonna have to stop
Yeah.
right now. Like people no one else can go see this movie, and maybe they'll be like, all right, let's not make any more.
Yeah.
It's
So if you're listening out there, just stop. Don't.
yeah.
We have a chance right now.
I'm
Stop
looking at-
this.
I'm
We
looking at-
saw it. Don't go
So
see
you
it.
don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Forbes right now. They're saying that from I think it was a Friday to a Saturday, there was a 82% plunge in viewership.
That's big.
That's massive.
Good.
Yeah, no, I hope that trend continues, to be honest. I can't stress enough that I don't think people should see this film.
It's awful. It is so awful.
If
Do
you're going
not
to
go
see
see
it,
it.
wait like 3 years and then review it in this kind of like,
Comedic, funny. Remember
Yeah.
this film?
Jesus. Moving on from that train wreck. Number 5. So we've had a Spider-Man cast list released. There's a couple interesting details, and I don't think that they're spoilers, but I think I'll let you explain this one, Ben.
Yeah, this was funny. This just came out. I don't know if it was a press release or what, but it had just the entire cast list for SpiderMan Homecoming and who everyone's playing. Some surprise cameos and stuff, which I was forced to have seen, which I didn't want to see. We won't talk about them. Don't worry. But there was one.
The marketing on this is ridiculous. Like, they
Fucking
just
Sony.
released everything.
So I can't believe what they're doing. But yeah, so one very interesting little tidbit, which again, if you're very sensitive, don't want to know anything going in, just skip ahead a few minutes. But I don't think this will spoil anything. It is just who Donald Glover is actually playing in this film. He is in fact playing Aaron Davis. Is his character name? Which is, I know, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So this,
Aaron Davis, I can't believe it. It's
I know,
happening.
Yeah, I know. We're finally getting Aaron
Far
Davis in
out.
live
I've been
action
waiting.
on the big screen.
So long.
So
Donald Glover, I mean, what a perfect choice.
it's spot on. Yeah, I think they modeled the character in the comics off Donald Glover. But basically, what this means, it's actually pretty interesting news because Aaron Davis is a small-time villain from the comics called the Prowler. That in and of itself is not too interesting, but that character is the uncle of Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man.
Yes.
Who people are really clamoring to see on the big screen. This seems like kind of pretty solid promise that is going to happen eventually in 30 years when Tom Holland's contract is over.
But Miles Morales exists in this world.
Yeah,
I think that all signs point to North.
Yeah, so Miles Morales in continuity would be like 5 years old probably now, but
Baby Spidey.
But yeah, I think that's a small thing that's going to appease a lot of people.
I think
a little bit. Miles Morales, interestingly enough, is going to be the main character in the animated Spider-Man movie that we're getting in a couple of years.
I think we should explain who Miles Morales is because I think a lot of people don't actually understand who he is.
He's Spider-Man.
He is.
He's currently Spider-Man.
He's the second Spider-Man.
He's the second Spider-Man when Peter Parker died recently in the main Marvel continuity.
It was like 2014 or 2014 right? He got introduced.
Was spoilers.
One of those years, yeah. Every single Marvel comics character has died several times, don't worry. Yeah, so he's kind of taken up the mantle. Peter Parker's back now, I'm sure, by now. But Marvel the last couple of years.
Do you know how he's back or?
It doesn't matter. It's some stupid bullshit, no doubt.
What would your guess be about how he's been resurrected?
That a spider god came to him and said, "You're actually a chosen spirit."
I like it.
Spider avatar, and you must come back. That's actually something that happened in the comics.
And Miles Morales is Hispanic heritage.
Yeah, he's black and Puerto Rican, I think.
Okay.
Which
is who they wanted Donald Glover to originally play.
No, they wanted him to play Peter Parker.
Did they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because Donald Glover wanted the role of Spider-Man. He was sort of campaigning for it for a social while before the Andrew Garfield movies. So obviously he's better off not having had it. But
that's another example of social media and fans really not actually impacting, but trying to impact casting in the direction of it. Because that was, I mean, I remember watching something that Donald Glover put out there, which was that he woke up one morning and he was like, "Oh shit, people want me to be Spider-Man." But maybe I'll give this a thought.
Obviously, it has had an effect because I've no doubt that that's why he's in this film in this role.
Well,
just a slight little nod to that. And now he's the uncle of a Spider-Man, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
just a slight nod, like you too old now. You fucked up. That's really cool. Hopefully that goes somewhere.
That's coming out next week, right? Spider-Man.
So excited!
Finally.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's actually already come out. If you actually paste all the marketing material that's been put out, you can see the entire film.
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yes.
I've watched the trailer in weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I've been avoiding all the marketing material, like the plague.
The plague?
The plague.
The plague.
The plague.
Pretty sure I said that. At least that one I'm pretty sure I said right.
No, I was just
fuck you, George.
George.
You're just waiting for it. You're just expecting
I am. And
Did he say something wrong there? It doesn't really matter.
And every week I get delivered.
He's going to go in after and edit in the plug.
Why you got to do me like this, George?
Hey, Grindelwald, what's next?
Grindelwald?
So also Tom Holland mentioned a fun little tidbit that Peter Parker has previously appeared in the MCU before his appearance in Civil War. Now this is
as the kid.
This is a complete retcon. But yeah, the kid in Iron Man 2 in the Iron Man mask who stands up to one of the robots, they're like, yeah, that's Peter Parker.
I think it's cool. I'm really not into those things. They did it with Star Wars as well, with Return of the Jedi. One of the rebels, the old rebel with the grey hair, the old dude, they said he was somebody or other from the Clone Wars. And it's really? I mean, no, sorry. It's just a lot of bullshit.
It absolutely
it's a bit of fun, but it's a lot of horse shit to me. And no, get your canon sorted out, people. You should have known Tom Holland was going to be Spider-Man. You should have cast him in the film. I'm pissed off.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Feige kind of intended it though. Just because it was like maybe one day we'll get Spider-Man and I can say this shit.
In
like
Feige we trust.
And it's smart because the guy's got the little kid's got a mask on, so...
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I think it could be like legit because they're like, just cover up his face. Could be anybody.
I think when I first read this headline, part of me for a second thought like, holy shit, did they get Tom Holland in the second time? And I was like, oh my God, they're fucking wizards. I was like, all right, no, wait, stop, Connor. Like, just have a quick think about this.
Feige, man. Feige, the all-knowing Feige.
Yeah. Wouldn't put it past him. I would. All right, on to number 6. So Neil Marshall has offered some encouraging words about the Hellboy reboot. He's essentially said that it's going to be. I mean, this is all stuff that we've heard before. Essentially, it's the R rating. We're going to keep it with the special effects very much in line with Guillermo. Do I always get it wrong?
Every time you
Del
say
Toro,
exactly
just say
the same
Del
thing.
Toro.
Just
I
say
should
Del
say I
Toro.
should get this right and just stop saying his actual name.
Just say Del Toro,
Del
not
Toro.
Benicio.
Jesus.
Or you could just learn how to say it. But
people know what I'm talking about.
yeah, but yeah, he's saying, and again, this is kind of just standard PR stuff that they always kind of go through. But something about the way he said it, coming from him, I kind of believe him. He said he's trying to keep the effects as practical as possible.
Yep.
And use CG to enhance or expand upon the world, but not use it to replace reality, which I think is a really interesting way to put it, because that's what movies are doing so much now, is just film a couple of people on a green screen and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
We saw that
But when
It's so
CG is
boring.
used more sparingly like that, like just to enhance what's already being filmed in the frame, that's when magic happens, I think.
We saw
I'm
that
so
in-
excited for this.
Yeah.
We saw that in John Wick too. Just like weird moments
Yeah,
for
that
green
was,
screen.
that was
You're like,
really weird.
why is this necessary? This
Then
is
you go,
very
"Oh,
strange.
it's a reshoot. That my mind immediately goes,
Yeah.
get
This
it
is
done.
the continuity is fucked up here or something like that. We had to fix something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope this is cool.
Well,
I'm a big
I really
Hellboy.
liked as well what he said about the R rating, because that was a thing that was kind of odd. It's like, are they going to be pushing for an R rating here? Is this not something they necessarily need? But he said it's like taking the cuffs off here. It's like, now we can make the movie we want to make. Nobody's going to stop us. So it's not that he's going to be just trying to make it extreme or anything. It's just they're not going to be answering to the PG-13 overlords,
Yeah,
which is cool.
very good. Very good news.
Yeah.
But I do miss Guillermo. I wish we were getting Hellboy 3. We'll see if Neil Marshall's got the ability to handle Hellboy.
I really like Neil Marshall.
I do
he's
as
gonna
well.
be-
I do,
gonna
but
be a
he's
cool
hit
fit
and
for
miss
this.
in my opinion.
So's Del Toro.
I don't
He
think he's
is.
as hit and miss as Neil Marshall. I think
he's
I think you're-
consistently interesting.
I think Guillermo del Toro, like, I just love his stuff. It just goes to this other level. Or it's already in the upper echelon just because it's a Del Toro film, and I love his style. Like people really shat on Crimson Peak, and I loved Crimson Peek.
Yeah. That was a weird reaction. I never saw that. It looked cool though.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fantastico.
But Neil Marshall, yeah,
Yeah, we've gone over this before,
Centurion.
but I think
Did you watch Centurion?
I did.
What did you think of it?
Uh.
That's not an sorry. Are you having a stroke? What's happening? Are you like that's
Standard
You know my
reaction.
rating system.
yeah.
2 grunts.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
but no, say what you will about the Del Toro Hellboy movies, they really were very different than the comics.
Very different.
So I really, we've said it before, but I think this is a really great opportunity.
But that's what I loved about it.
No,
is
absolutely.
It wasn't trying to.
That's what they are. They're their thing. They're there.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're awesome. But this is a really cool opportunity
Yeah,
to
it
do
is.
something that's very much in
It
line
is.
with the Mike Mignola comics,
It
which
is.
I would really like to see.
I think I'm glad that they're doing it this way. If we're not going to get Hellboy 3, I'm glad they're doing it like this, because they could potentially try and do an MCU kind of thing. Hellboy shared universe with the BPRD.
Don't put that out into the ether, man.
Yeah. Some executive
Fuck,
is gonna
you
like
just
it's gonna
heard
be
that.
butterfly effect. Like,
Get
someone's
ready.
gonna pass it on
Get
and on. And
ready.
they're like, yes, we could do a shared
Ape
universe.
Sapien.
Ape
film.
Sapien film. Fuck.
If they do it well, though, sign me the fuck up.
I mean, yeah, there is a cool spin-off comic from Hellboy, the
Yeah.
BPRD. That would
Brilliant.
make a wicked TV
Brilliant.
series more. But
And there's so many good spin-off Lobster Johnson comics, Ape Sapien
one-off
comics,
stuff. Yeah.
so much good.
Yeah.
Okay, shared universe. Let's do it.
So get Feige on it.
See, this is always how it starts. I imagine this is how like all these shared universe starts. We're like, we've got so much material that we could explore and we could really get into. This could be great. Plus, it's gonna make us a shitload of money.
Here we go.
And then we get fucking
Hashtag Hellboy in the MCU.
yeah.
Wait, which one is DC again?
Wait, fuck you, man.
The look on Connor's face says it all.
All right, what do we got up next?
Julian Dennison, who is the star of Hunt for the Wilder People, has recently featured in one of Ryan Reynolds' Instagrams, which we all know is the actual casting announcements for Deadpool now.
Hell yeah. He was great. I loved Hunt for the Wilder People. It was one of my favorite films of last year.
Yep.
I was worried that this kid was going to get just pigeonholed, and maybe he is getting pigeonholed still, but I just didn't know if he'd be able to, utilize Hunt for the Wilder People as a jumping off point to become an actual name. And hopefully this is the film, that's that follow-up film.
He could have just as easily just floated off into the nothingness and never seen him
Exactly.
again.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah, so we don't have any information on who he's playing.
Kiwi kid.
Yeah, presumably he's going to be a mutant of some kind. But the picture that was released was great. It was him riding Deadpool on his back, like the classic Yoda, Luke kind of thing.
It's kind of crazy to think this shit is happening. Like, we're going to get another Deadpool.
Hell yeah.
Who would have thought, like, if you thought this 6 years ago, not only is there going to be one Deadpool film, but like it's going to be so good that they're going to get a second one.
But that would be the shocker, that it was good. That was the surprising thing about Deadpool.
Oh, good.
But yeah, hopefully, I hope he's a major role on this. I'd really like to
same.
see that kind of buddy dynamic.
Hopefully
it's just Hunt for the Wilder People with Deadpool in the Sam Neill role.
I would love that.
I'd be down for that.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
Just cut him into Hunt for the Wilder Deadpool.
Yeah.
Monumental task for them though with Deadpool 2. They really, everyone loves Deadpool, and the anticipation for Hellboy. Deadpool 2 is massive.
Yeah, they've pulled a DC and lost their director.
Yep.
Tim Miller's off this one, but hopefully they can pull it together.
Yeah.
I don't trust Fox at all, but
it's always a bit
crossed.
like there's a bit of trepidation when you go into one of these films. It's the same thing with any of the X-Men films or any of these like mutant ones. Where you're just like, God, I really hope this is good, because it could just as easily be shit.
Yep. We could be getting Apocalypse.
yeah, I'm just thinking. I don't think there's ever been a great X-Men film with a sequel as good. Because I
Say that
think
again.
X2 was followed by X3.
Yep.
Oh
yeah, there's never been a double.
Days of Future Past was followed by Apocalypse.
Logan, we'll see. Well,
yeah.
what's
depends how much you like the Wolverine. I like it a lot, but fingers crossed.
It was better than the previous one.
That is
So,
so
I will say that.
So is every other film.
Origins.
Yeah, no, that was not good. All right, number 8. We have a sequel announced to The Accountant. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this didn't seem to make a lot of waves. Like, The Accountant seemed like one of those films that was going to come out, it was going to do its thing, and then that was it.
It very much was. I think this is a big surprise that they're coming back for another one on this.
This is proper bizarre, because I don't see where they're like, they certainly left it at a position where they could make a sequel, but never did I think that there was the market for it. Like, you never bump into someone who's like, oh, did you see Accountant? Oh, hell yeah, love that film.
Can't wait for the continuing adventures of the autistic superhero.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I'm kind of interested to see where they go with this, and I enjoyed The Accountant.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out because I never watched it.
It was
least
a
I think
weird
I did.
one. It was a weird. It was kind of like this trashy exploitation action film masquerading. Like, it came out during like award season. Even it was very strange, but I think I liked it.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was enjoying it. I was like, am I meant to be enjoying this? Should I feel bad about enjoying this? Is this
know.
a good film?
I was like, is this an offensive portrayal of being on the spectrum? I don't know, probably, but it's cool action going on.
Yeah, no, fair call.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen The Accountant, have you, George? So.
Nah, I'm gonna go check it out though. It sounds interesting. And now that the sequel's coming, it gives me an incentive to go, because I need there to be multiple sequels for me to invest time in a movie.
Yeah. Well, this is actually
if not, I'm not going to watch it.
What this actually is the start of the Accountant shared universe.
Accountant shared universe.
I think there's potential here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they introduced some interesting characters in that first one. I
We
really
get
think
the
they can
Anna
build off it.
Kendrick standalone film.
The venture
Spin-off.
capitalist,
Yeah.
the marketeer, the CEO,
The techie startup.
yeah, the tech startup.
We're losing the train. The accountant, the financier, the marketing.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see. That's a we'll see.
We will see it.
Or we won't.
Like I don't have the Accountant 2 right now in front of me, so I can't actually give you an opinion. So fuck off. So we got any honorable mentions?
Nope.
Well, Dandy, that's been another episode of the podcast.
Georgie, I feel so bad for the folks at home. It's very cold in Australia right now.
Yeah.
And they can't see you. You look
You
at
know what? Take a photo of me right now, and then you guys head to the Podcast Strikes Back on Instagram and give us a follow.
and you can see George as a condom.
Hey. It's quite a sight to see. Are you getting that phone ready for a photo?
What does it fucking look like I'm doing right
Looks like you
Well,
texting someone, mate.
does it really take that long?
Looks like you're in the Arctic.
I am.
Practically. It's an entire 10 degrees.
All right, guys, that was fun.
It was.
It's amazing.
We'll be back next week for another episode. Hopefully,
Power high five.
Hopefully everyone's here. Yes.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Champ.
Yeah.
He actually did do a high five just then.
I didn't do that.
All right. Catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.